Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about backpacking hacks, the more advanced version. I did a hack video before, didn't list a few of these things that you guys might be expecting, but I can guarantee you there's at least one thing in this video that you guys haven't seen before because I made it up. Let me get this video started off right. I'm going to drink from a glass because it's Friday. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah. Oh, it smells so good. So hack number one that was a very requested item in my other video. Everybody was kind of surprised that this hack was not in the video, is my toothbrush. I didn't put it in that initial video because it's kind of a given to cut your toothbrushes down. It's just kind of a thing that all the ultralight backpackers do. So I'm going to show you guys my toothbrush here and tell you how I made it. Toothbrushes themselves aren't very heavy. You're not really saving a ton of weight. But chopping it down, drilling a bunch of holes in it like this here, I mean, I did cut the weight about half for this toothbrush. I just kind of do it for fun. Well, the first one was fun, the one that my dog ate. This one wasn't as fun because I had a perfectly good one that got eaten for some reason. So basically I chopped the toothbrush in half. I drilled holes in it starting small and got bigger and bigger depending how big the shaft was here. I made sure to not go too thick so it still is rigid. It's not going to be like super flimsy or break or anything out there. Left myself little thumb hole handles here, or not thumb hole, finger holds there, so it's a little short. I mean, you might have to kind of get your finger kind of close to your mouth to get back at the molars or whatever, but not only did I cut it, drill holes, but I actually took an X-Acto blade and chamfered every hole at a 45-degree angle just to see how much plastic I could get off of this. And then all along the sides and even the head here, you can see it's exposed down to the rubber. I actually just shaved it down just like I'm whittling a stick. Every surface of this toothbrush is actually shaved down a little bit. So this thing is super, super light, and I'm gonna weigh it up real quick because I know you guys are gonna wanna know what this weighs. Okay, so this came in at 0.25 ounce or 6 grams. And I use this little case too. It's super lightweight. So it's actually 9 grams with the case. So the case is actually half the weight of the entire toothbrush, which is really surprising. I like that my toothbrush takes up like no room in my pack at all. Just something that I'm literally gonna use for a minute or two in the morning, a minute or two at night. Just don't need a full-size toothbrush. If you guys ever wonder why I do videos with my hood up, I legitimately walk around like this in the evenings in the winter because my house was built in 1890. I have 10-foot tall ceilings and my heaters suck in this house. Little FYI for you. Alright, so the next tip is a Bryce original. I kind of want a name for it. You gotta be one of those guys. You have to have a chair, a camp chair. And I have like 2 or 3 hacks with this chair that I'm gonna share with you how this is a multi-use item. I use this as a roll cage for my sleeping bag to keep condensation off of it. If you're unfamiliar with this, there's no frame in the chair part here. It connects to these 4 points here. If you've ever camped, you know that condensation, you can't get away from it. I've woke up so many times on the trail with the footbox of my quilt just completely soaked from touching the sidewall of a tent or a tarp. This is my remedy for that. So this is what I like to call the quilt roll cage. I lay this on the foot end of my sleeping pad, and I put my feet on top of the fabric here. Now what that's gonna do is inhibit this from sliding around or moving at all. You're always gonna have your feet laying on the fabric, so the cage is always gonna stay there. These 4 legs up here on top are gonna be able to keep that tent wall or the tarp from touching your bag, basically. I had a, what was it called? The last tarp setup I did in that last video. Everybody told me in the comments what it was and I can't even remember anymore. But anyway, it went straight down to the ground, 45-degree angle. My quilt would have definitely been in the condensation of the wall of the tent or the tarp. It kept the tarp like a safe distance away. I can keep my feet like right here in the middle of the chair, and I have all this room that this will hold that condensation off there. The second hack for the Chair Zero, and by far my favorite thing to use this for. So on backpacking trips, when I wake up in the morning, this is the very, very last thing that I pack up and put onto the outside of my pack, and that is because I use it for organization. It's basically a table out there to keep my pack and all my gear and stuff off of the ground. Sometimes if it rains all night, your campsite's just a mud pit in the morning. I just pile all my gear up. So once I roll up my sleeping bag and put it in its stuff sack, that goes on the chair. My sleeping pad in its stuff sack, that goes on the chair. And I just pile this thing completely full until then I'm ready to get my pack out. And sometimes I'll even throw my pack on the chair and just pack everything in it then, and it just keeps my pack and everything off the mud or the snow or whatever it is. So having the chair for organization, it's pretty sweet. Now we got Z-Seat hacks. So this is the Thermarest Z-Seat. I still take this when I do like a lot of solos, but a little hack for this, which is pretty much a given. You might have known this one, but this is an excellent fire enhancer. So I usually fold it in half like that, and then you can really get some good rigidity to create some wind to get your fire going. And you can actually use the Chair Zero for that as well. Except it's a lot more flammable, so you might burn holes in it. You just got to be careful with that. I have one hole in mine actually. It's not from that, but another one with this is I use this as a pillow. So what I'll do is fold it up, not really like that. I'll fold it in half normally, and I'll put that on my sleeping pad, and normally I have other clothes too. So this is just kind of like the bottom part of my pillow. I don't like really big fluffy pillows anyway, so this is just get my head elevated a little bit, and then socks and whatever other clothing I have in a stuff sack makes for another pillow on top of this. And also, if you are lucky enough to own both these items and it's gonna be cold and you're planning on sitting out by the fire at night, bring them both. Throw the Z-Seat on top of the Chair Zero, and it'll keep your butt and your lower back warmer, because when you're sitting in this chair, that wind just catches right under it when it's cold and it's freezing. And this thing actually helps add like a lot of R value to this chair, or any R value to the chair. So the next one I can't really take credit for. I watched it in a YouTube video years and years ago. I think it might have been follow Bigfoot. I think. I'm not really sure, but basically this is what I do for a pillow on a lot of backpacking trips. And this has to do with your sleeping pad and your rain jacket. They have to be like the right size. They have to work together. If you have a wide sleeping pad, it won't work. If you have a really small rain jacket, it won't work. So I use a Thermarest NeoAir sleeping pad a lot of the time. So what I do is I put my rain jacket on the outside of my sleeping pad, and then I pile up everything that is going to be my pillow for the night on top of the sleeping pad, and then I pull my rain jacket around and zip it up. And what that does is it keeps my pillow and everything from sliding around. It holds it in one place. A lot of times I wake up in the middle of the night if I don't do this and I gotta find my pillow. I do that more often than I should. I really should do this method more. It works really, really well. I will say I have one rain jacket that's too small, it doesn't work. I also have bigger sleeping pads that are probably too wide that won't fit. So it's gotta be the right combination, but it's definitely worth trying if you have the right gear. Okay, so the next one here, this is kind of a pet peeve of mine. So rain jacket, and this is kind of for organization. It's just kind of an aesthetic thing. It doesn't really give you much benefit, but keeping the bill on your rain jacket straight. So a lot of rain jackets have kind of a harder bill on them here to either lay over your hat or just kind of hold off your head a little bit to have the rain come off so it doesn't just like drip down your face. What I do, and my wife actually like invented this method, and we store all our jackets like this. We roll them up inside the hood, and they hold really well like that. They don't ever really come undone. And when you pack them in your bag, the bill is on the outside, and it just stays nice and straight. You never get crinkles from crunching up your rain jacket or folding it in a different way. You never want to be that guy on the trail that just has the bill that's just all like creased and crappy looking. Like, I hate that. Like, that has just always been a pet peeve of mine. If you look here, you just fold the arms of the rain jacket in, roll it right up into the bill. Now if you're thinking, Bryce, then the bill is exposed and shoving it down in your pack, like you could bend it and it'll get messed up even still. And I'd agree with you on that, except I've been doing this method for pretty much like 6 years now, and all my rain jackets are like completely like pristine. This is actually my wife's. I couldn't find mine. I don't even know what I did with that thing. And it's, like I said, for organization, just storage. Roll up your clothing, takes up less space, and just a good way to store it. Did you guys know Darn Tough started making mittens? It's crazy. Okay, so this hack's kind of stupid. Like, I've actually never done this, and my wife suggested this to me, and I think it's kind of a good idea, so I figured it was kind of worth mentioning. So if you have like a light pair of gloves and your hands are cold and you have an extra pair of socks, you can use socks as mittens. It's kind of ingenious. It's a good idea too, especially if you're wearing something like this that's wool, then you have like a wool glove. I just thought it was something worth mentioning. They smell good. Yeah. Why do I smell everything all the time? Okay, well, I think that's pretty much all the hacks I want to talk about in this video. Stay tuned for new stuff coming up. Tomorrow I'm heading out into the snow. Going to be probably the coldest camp out I do this year. We're talking like negatives Fahrenheit in wind chill factor. So it's going to be super cold, snowy. We're doing some bushcrafting, and by we I mean me by myself, because nobody's going to go out there with me. It's going to be so freaking cold, so you're not going to want to miss that one. Subscribe down below for more videos in the future. Hit that notification bell so I can let you know when that and other videos are out. And yeah, that about wraps it up. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I gotta say, I appreciate you guys commenting so much, especially that last video. Like, I forgot a bunch of stuff, and the video I thought was terrible. I hated editing it. I didn't even want to post it, and then all you guys just reassured me that you love watching some of the stuff I do that's not all chopped up, just more raw footage. It feels good to be appreciated. Like, a lot of times I know you guys think like, oh, Bryce just puts out videos, it's just what he does, and there's days when I second guess stuff that I put out. I don't like certain videos. Just getting all the positive feedback and feedback in general, I really appreciate it. So thank you guys so much for that. But yeah, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.